Hey, welcome in. Well, I'm a simple man with simple tastes. I like vanilla ice cream and chocolate ice cream and maybe strawberry ice cream. I don't need anything fancy. I don't need cookie dough. I don't even need intractable Middle Eastern geopolitics with my ice cream. I mean, if you do, good for you. Just, again, I'm a simple man with simple tastes. When I get ice cream, I just want ice cream. And I think there's probably other people that are like me. Now, I don't know if this is a get woke, go broke story, but here's the headline. Backlash from inside Ben & Jerry's. Franchisees losing money. Want Israel boycott gone. Quote, the controversy your recent actions have brought upon our local businesses has had an adverse effect on the value of our independently owned franchises and investments. So the owners of the franchises are not happy with this politics coming from up high, from the virtue signaling coming from up high. It sounds like they'd rather just sell ice cream than, protest Israel for some reason. Anyway, so it's saying there's been a huge backlash to the decision by Ben & Jerry's parent company, Unilever, after they imposed a boycott of the biblical areas of Judea and Samaria in Israel. The Ben & Jerry's franchisees located in major American cities that operate 30 stores with a total of $23.3 million in revenue annually wrote a letter asking Unilever to rescind the boycott, not for any moral reason, but because they were losing money. Yeah, perhaps they just want to run their businesses and not moralize. I'm not sure that that's too much to ask. Anyway, they say, quote, there is a danger that the pursuit of social justice will descend into political correctness or result in the adoption of overly simplistic solutions by people who share a single view of the world that misconstrue complex problems in which multiple claims of justice are implicated. So this is all sounding kind of familiar. So, social justice descending into political correctness? Check. The adoption of overly simplistic solutions by people who share a single view of the world? Check and check. Misconstruing complex problems in which multiple claims of justice are implicated? Yeah, check. Yeah, this is all seeming very familiar to me. The imposition of such narrow prescriptions does not advance social justice or the pursuit of a values-led business in any meaningful way. In other words, we'd just like to sell some ice cream, please. And again, this wasn't a grassroots thing. This was Unilever. This was people at the top in Unilever. People at the very top, without a doubt, wanting to improve by a couple of points their environmental, social governance score. And if the guys at the bottom, the guys who own the franchises, have to suffer for that, well, And I'm not surprised that they're saying this has hurt them, because I think a lot of people are starting to vote with their dollars when it comes to woke companies. And I think a lot of the companies don't care because they're looking globally. They're looking to China. So they don't really care if they lose some chunk of their domestic customers. But I think it's going to come back to bite them eventually. Apparently these franchise owners are already suffering from it. So, I think clearly you're playing with fire when you do this stuff. But anyway, the letter concluded, those who feel strongly about Israel, that they want to boycott it, or some part of the territory it administers, are free to do so. They cannot, however, do that at our expense. We believe this decision needs to be re-examined and withdrawn. In other words, we just want to sell some ice cream. But of course, Ben & Jerry's itself, outside of Unilever, just the company itself, is woke. You can't blame the franchise owners for that. But the company itself is woke. Look. Here we have this one. Today we launch Pecan Resist. That's just blatantly partisan politics there. This flavor supports groups creating a more just and equitable nation for us all, and who are fighting President Trump's regressive agenda. So that's not alienating at all. That wouldn't make, people who aren't woke not want to buy the ice cream. It wouldn't do it at all. Here you have Colin Kaepernick's Change the World. And of course, Colin Kaepernick's not a divisive figure at all. How about Justice Remixed? cinnamon and chocolate ice cream with gobs of cinnamon dough, and spicy fudge brownies, and weird leftist politics. The Flavor and Action campaign. The Flavor and Action campaign dedicated to criminal justice reform. The Flavor and Action campaign. Who can take these people seriously? So I think it has to be said that the people who bought the franchises kind of must have known kind of what they were getting into a little bit. Or maybe they bought the franchises before all this stuff started coming out. I don't know. But I do think that alienating half of your potential customers, probably a bad idea. But it makes you wonder if the franchisees are suffering. Is that just staying at the bottom, or is it going all the way up? Because I do believe that, well, this may not be a full-on get woke, go broke right now. I think that's where this stuff does lead to eventually. Because once you alienate half the population, and the other half, which you think is your friends, is liable to turn on you at any second for any misstep, for anything that they see as not being justice, which could literally be anything. I just think I think you're asking for trouble. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Please subscribe, like, and share. That really helps me out. If you just like to listen, there's the podcast Radio Baloney. It's on pretty much every platform. If you look for it, you will find it. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time.